The winter months are probably the most difficult. It gets dark early, the roads are slippery, and the other drivers on the road are often stressed and distracted. You know as a professional that your environment will have a big effect on how you drive. But even in the most extreme driving conditions, you're still responsible for your rig, your load, yourself, and most importantly, for the safety of the motoring public. In this lesson, we'll talk about winter pre-trip and preparation, use of tire chains, coping with engine troubles, and the specific driving factors you'll encounter in the winter months. When the seasons change, it's always a good idea to give yourself a checkup to see if you've picked up some bad habits that don't work in the new season. These habits are things you can get away with on dry roads during the summer months, but that'll get you in trouble if you do them on slick roads. Before the snow falls, it's time to take a hard look at your easygoing summer driving habits and give them a tune up. For example, shifting while turning or when changing lanes, palming the wheel, leaving the engine brake turned on, gradually creeping up on drivers ahead, not leaving extra following distance, taking ramps, curves, and hills just a little faster than you should, coasting on downgrades, being inconsistent or lazy in tire pressure checks and or brake checks, setting only your tractor brakes when parked, running fuel levels down below a quarter of a tank, making quick lane changes or jerky turns, hard braking or rapid acceleration. Do any of these examples sound familiar to you? You'll need to clamp down on these habits immediately as the months get colder and the weather gets worse. One of the most important things we're going to talk about is the importance of an extensive pre-trip inspection when the weather forecast is bad. You can expect to run into extreme driving conditions in wintertime, and you need to be ready for them. For example, poor visibility on winter roads means that other drivers may not notice you. Reduced traction creates problems for you and also for the other drivers you're sharing the road with. So obviously, pre-tripping your lights and your brakes becomes critical. Exhaust systems, clean fifth wheel connections, and good, well inflated tires become even more important when driving conditions get tough. In winter, you need to pay close attention to your lights and reflectors. Snow and slushy road film may coat them to the point where they're difficult to see. When you stop every once in a while, clean your taillights, reflectors, marker lights, and headlights so that they can be easily seen when you're using them. When you're on the road, expect to have less time to see other vehicles, since their lights and reflectors could be covered as well. Do a thorough pre-trip on your brakes in the wintertime. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with your air brakes in extremely cold weather. You can get ice in your air lines. Too much moisture in the lines can cause a relay valve to freeze up and a brake won't release. That's not a good situation to be in. If you lock up a trailer brake, you could drag a tire, particularly with a light load or slick road, and catch it on fire. You can eliminate this problem if you can remember to check that your air dryer is functioning properly. Even if your vehicle is equipped with an air dryer, you should get in the habit of draining your air tanks daily. When your fueling is a good time, you're right there anyway. If you're getting a lot of water, then your air dryer may be shot. Contact your shop and get it replaced. You can also get ice in the brake drums and on the brake shoes, which can stop your brakes from releasing once you've set them. Don't try to knock the brakes loose with a tool. This is a dangerous maneuver. Usually, if you keep applying and releasing the brakes, they'll clear. If you're driving in cold, moist weather, you might apply a light pressure to the brakes to heat the drums before you pull over to park. This helps to keep them from icing over. If your brakes are out of adjustment, that can cause one portion of the vehicle's brakes to apply sooner than another, and that could put you into a skid. Remember, when traction is poor, it's much easier to skid. Use your pre-trip to make sure that your brakes are properly adjusted and that you don't have moisture in your air system that can freeze. Some drivers like to put methanol in the air tank to try and dry them out, but this will destroy the clay beads in your air dryer and can make the condition worse. Daily draining of your air tank is the best preventative measure.